A shadow is moving across Tulsa, and all eyes are on Tyson. The trailer for Tulsa King Season 3 Episode 3 has dropped hints that his next move could shake the whole city. This isn't just another small step for Dwight's protege, this could be the kill that defines Tyson's future. But the question is, who will be his target, and why is the trailer leaving such chilling clues about his path? Tyson has always been more than just Dwight's driver. From the very beginning of Tulsa King, he represented something deeper, the innocence of someone who had a choice between a clean life and the pull of the criminal world. When he first met Dwight, Tyson was curious, a little reckless, and eager to prove himself. He wasn't hardened by the streets. He was simply a young man searching for belonging in a city where power speaks louder than anything else. Over time, Dwight became the figure Tyson looked up to. Some may call it mentorship, others might say it was manipulation. But what we saw was a bond forming between an old mobster trying to rebuild an empire and a young man willing to sacrifice his future to be part of it. By the end of Season 2, Tyson was no longer the wide-eyed kid he once was. He had blood on his hands, and the world around him started to see him not as Dwight's driver but as Dwight's soldier. The trailer for Season 3 Episode 3 pushes this transformation even further. Tyson is no longer standing in the background of Dwight's plans. He is taking steps on his own, and the camera seems to frame him differently now. We don't see a boy eager to follow orders, we see a man who might be ready to take control of his own destiny. And this is where things start to get dangerous, because control in Tulsa doesn't come without spilling blood. The biggest question the trailer raises is this: has Dwight created a loyal soldier who will kill for him, or has he created a rival whose hunger for power will outgrow the loyalty he once had? Tyson's journey has reached a point where every decision could either keep him alive or drag him deeper into the graveyard of broken promises that comes with the mob life. The trailer leaves no doubt his next step will not be a small one. It will be violent, it will be loud, and it may be the moment where Tyson truly earns his place in the underworld. The trailer for Tulsa King Season 3 Episode 3 doesn't waste time. From the very first frame, it gives us fragments that, when pieced together, tell a story far more dangerous than what's on the surface. If we slow it down and look closely, every second holds a clue about Tyson's next move, and possibly, his next kill. The opening shot is quick but powerful. Tyson standing in the dark, his face half hidden in shadow. This isn't the same young man who once nervously drove Dwight around Tulsa. The camera doesn't treat him like a background player anymore. It lingers on him, making sure we know that Tyson is no longer an accessory to Dwight's story. He's becoming the story himself. The shadows wrapping around him feel intentional. They don't just cover his face, they suggest the darkness creeping into his choices. The next moment flashes by so fast you might miss it. Tyson exchanging glances with Dwight in a dimly lit bar. Dwight looks calm, but his calm is the kind that hides storm clouds. Tyson, however, looks restless, like a man who knows he's about to do something irreversible. The trailer doesn't let us hear much, but a single line of dialogue echoes. Are you ready to cross the line? It's unclear who says it, Dwight, Tyson, or maybe even an unseen enemy, but it sets the stage. Crossing the line is exactly what Tyson is about to do. Then comes the shot that raises more questions than it answers. Tyson is shown walking into what looks like a back alley, his hands tight around something hidden under his jacket. The trailer cuts before we see what it is, but the suggestion is obvious. Is it a gun, a knife, or something else tied to Dwight's schemes? The choice to cut away right at that moment tells us the showrunners want fans buzzing about what Tyson is carrying and who it's meant for. A few seconds later, we see him standing across from a man we can't quite identify. The man looks older, dressed in street clothes that scream of someone with connections but not authority. Tyson doesn't say a word, but his posture speaks volumes. He's tense, shoulders raised, eyes locked like a predator waiting to strike. It's here that the trailer gives us one of its biggest clues. A quick shot of blood dripping down onto concrete. The scene cuts before we see whose blood it is, but the editing makes it clear this is no accident. This is deliberate violence. The most chilling part of the trailer, though, is not a scene of action but of silence. Tyson is shown sitting alone in a car at night, staring at his reflection in the rearview mirror. His face looks almost haunted, as if he's trying to recognize the person he's becoming. No words, no music, just silence. It's a moment that feels like the calm before the storm. And for a show like Tulsa King, silence always means something deadly is around the corner. Finally, we get a glimpse of Dwight again. His voice is steady, commanding, but filled with an edge of warning. Once you do this, there's no turning back. The trailer cuts Tyson's reaction. But we don't need to see it, we already know what his choice will be. He's stepping into a world where his name will no longer be tied to innocence, but to fear. All of these scenes, stitched together, form a puzzle. Tyson is no longer just being pulled into violence, he's leaning into it. Taking the first step into becoming someone feared, not just respected. The trailer isn't just teasing action, it's teasing transformation. The look in Tyson's eyes, the blood on the ground, and Dwight's warning all point to the same truth. Episode 3 is where Tyson becomes something far more dangerous than we've ever seen. The trailer doesn't hand us the answers on a silver platter, but it gives us just enough fragments to fuel speculation about who Tyson's next victim might be. And this is where the tension really takes shape, because no matter who the target is, the decision will push Tyson into a new stage of his evolution. Let's dig into the possibilities, one by one. The most obvious theory points toward a rival gang member. Tulsa isn't short of enemies, and Dwight's rise has left a trail of resentful faces waiting for revenge. The trailer's alley scene, with Tyson clutching something under his jacket, could easily be tied to a planned ambush. If Tyson is the one pulling the trigger, this wouldn't be just about survival, it would be initiation. A young soldier proving he's willing to stain his hands for the family. In the mob world, the first intentional kill isn't just an act, it's a rite of passage. By showing Tyson standing firm, almost waiting for the blow, the trailer hints that this could be the moment he graduates from Dwight's driver to Dwight's executioner. But then there's the darker, more unexpected possibility. Someone inside Dwight's circle might be the target. The trailer's silence, the look in Tyson's eyes, the haunted reflection in the rearview mirror, all of it suggests this isn't just a kill for the sake of business. This feels personal, like Tyson is wrestling with betrayal. Could it be someone who has turned on Dwight? Or worse, someone who has turned on Tyson himself? The show has a way of twisting loyalty until it snaps. And episode 3 could be where Tyson is forced to eliminate someone he once trusted. Imagine the weight of that moment, Tyson stepping over the line, not just into violence, but into betrayal. Then there's the boldest theory of all. What if the target is connected, not to Dwight, but to Tyson's own personal past? We've seen glimpses across the seasons of his struggle to balance the normal life he left behind with the criminal path he's chosen. What if the trailer's clues are pointing to a kill that isn't strategic, but emotional? Maybe someone from his past threatens to expose him, or worse, drag him back into the life he tried to escape. A family member, an old friend, or even someone tied to his earlier mistakes. The idea of Tyson having to silence a ghost from his own past makes the trailer's emphasis on his haunted reflection feel even more meaningful. And finally, the theory no one wants to imagine but the trailer dares us to consider. What if Dwight himself is the unspoken shadow over Tyson's choices? The exchange of looks between them isn't the same as before, it's sharper, heavier, like the bond is cracking. Dwight's line, "Once you do this, there's no turning back," could be seen as a warning, but it could also be a test. What if Dwight is pushing Tyson into a corner, daring him to prove himself, and in doing so planting the seeds of rebellion? If Tyson's next kill isn't an enemy of Dwight's empire, but a move to break free from Dwight's control, the series could be setting up one of its most shocking betrayals yet. Each theory leads to a different path, but they all share the same truth. Tyson is on the verge of transformation. This isn't the same boy we met in season 1, eager and impressionable. This is a man confronting the weight of violence, and the trailer shows us just enough to believe that whoever his next kill is, it will not be meaningless. It will define him, whether as Dwight's soldier, as a man cleaning up betrayal, or as someone carving out his own power. Tyson's next move could change the balance of power in Tulsa forever. The brilliance of the trailer lies in its ambiguity. It doesn't tell us who Tyson's victim will be, it dares us to guess. And in doing so, it makes episode 3 feel like the most important chapter of his journey yet. Whoever falls next will not just be another body on Tulsa's streets. They will be the stepping stone that either cements Tyson as Dwight's most dangerous ally or sets him on a collision course with his mentor. The magic of Tulsa King has always been in what it doesn't say outright. The dialogue is sharp, the action is loud. But the real storytelling often happens in silence, in the way a scene is lit, in the background colors, or in the way a character's eyes linger just a second too long. The trailer for Season 3, Episode 3 is a masterclass in this kind of silent storytelling, and when you look at it carefully, the symbolism begins to reveal Tyson's path with chilling clarity. One of the first things that stands out is the use of shadows. Nearly every shot of Tyson in the trailer has him partially obscured, either with his face half lit or his body swallowed in darkness. This isn't an accident. Cinematography in a show like this always doubles as a mirror of the character's inner world. Tyson's shadowed face suggests that he's caught between two versions of himself. The man who once dreamed of a different future, and the man now standing at the edge of violence. The deeper the shadows, the further he seems to drift away from the boy Dwight once met behind the wheel. Then there's the color palette. Pay close attention to the recurring shades of red. It isn't just in the blood dripping onto the concrete. It shows up in neon bar signs glowing in the background, in the subtle tint of a drink on Dwight's table, even in the taillights that illuminate Tyson's haunted stare in the rearview mirror. Red in film language is never subtle. It screams danger, passion, and violence. But here, it feels layered, like a constant reminder that Tyson's choices are steeped in blood, whether it's blood already spilled or blood yet to come. The silence of the car scene is another piece of hidden symbolism. Tyson, staring into the rearview mirror, may look simple on the surface, but mirrors are often used in visual storytelling to represent self-confrontation. He isn't just seeing his reflection, he's staring into the man he's becoming, questioning if he can live with it. The decision to keep this scene completely silent amplifies the weight of that question. Silence doesn't just mean calm. In the world of Tulsa King, silence is the sound before chaos erupts. Another clue comes in the editing itself. The trailer jumps quickly from Tyson's tense stare at an unknown man to a shot of blood dripping on the ground. We never see the act in between. This gap is deliberate. The showrunners are planting a question in our minds. Is Tyson truly the one who caused that blood to spill? Or is the trailer playing tricks, mixing two different events to make us assume the worst? This kind of editing isn't just about teasing, it's about creating paranoia, making us watch Tyson with suspicion, as if we're already complicit in doubting his innocence. Even Dwight's words, "Once you do this, there's no turning back," are layered with symbolic meaning. On the surface, it's a warning about a single act of violence, but in the grander arc, it's a reflection of Dwight's own life. He once crossed that line himself, and it defined him forever. Now, with Tyson, he's passing that same curse along. It's not just advice, it's inheritance. The symbolism here is generational, like a torch being passed. Not of light, but of fire. Finally, let's talk about the recurring motif of doors. In one quick cut, Tyson is shown entering a dimly lit alley through a doorway. Later, he is seen stepping out of another dark room. Doors in storytelling often represent choices, transitions, or passages into new worlds. For Tyson, these doors don't lead to opportunity, they lead to blood. Every time we see him crossing through one, it feels less like he's moving through Tulsa and more like he's stepping further into a world he can never leave. The symbolism couldn't be clearer. Once the door closes behind him, his old life is gone. All these clues of shadows, the red tones, the mirrors, the edits, the doors build a picture far bigger than just one episode. They paint Tyson as a character standing at the edge of transformation. Someone who is about to make a decision that can never be undone. The brilliance of this symbolism is that it allows us to feel Tyson's struggle without a single word being spoken. The trailer doesn't have to tell us he's haunted, it shows us. It doesn't have to spell out that he's dangerous. It makes us feel it, and in that way, the clues left in the trailer are more than just teases for episode 3. They're warnings. They tell us that when the episode airs, Tyson won't just make a move, he'll take a step into the kind of darkness that reshapes a man forever. If Tyson is the storm building on the horizon, then Dwight is the lightning rod drawing it closer. From the beginning, their relationship has been complicated, walking the fine line between father-son mentorship and cold-blooded manipulation. The trailer for Tulsa King Season 3 Episode 3 pushes that tension into the spotlight, making it clear that Tyson's fate isn't just tied to his own choices. It's tied to the shadow Dwight has cast over him since day one. Dwight has always seen potential in Tyson, but it's important to ask, what kind of potential did he really see? Was it the spark of a young man who could rise above the streets? Or was it simply the hunger of someone desperate to belong? Someone Dwight could mold into a soldier? The trailer seems to lean toward the latter. That single warning line, "Once you do this, there's no turning back," isn't just advice. It feels like a command, almost like Dwight is testing Tyson's loyalty the same way old mob bosses tested their recruits. If Tyson hesitates, he risks losing Dwight's trust. If he obeys, he cements himself as Dwight's weapon. Either way, Dwight is the architect of this transformation, but there's another layer to their connection. Dwight knows the cost of crossing the line. He has lived it, decades behind bars, a lifetime of violence, a reputation built on blood that's Dwight's legacy. And now, by steering Tyson toward that same path, Dwight isn't just guiding him, he's infecting him. The mentor becomes both savior and destroyer. When Dwight tells Tyson there's no turning back, It's not just a warning, it's almost a confession of his own life, projected onto his protege. It's as if he's saying, I couldn't escape this life. And neither will you. The trailer also teases a shift in their power dynamic. Earlier seasons showed Tyson eager to follow Dwight, his respect almost bordering on blind devotion. But in the brief exchanges we see in the trailer, Tyson's eyes don't carry the same innocence anymore. There's resistance now, a quiet questioning of Dwight's authority. That single glance between them in the bar is heavier than words. It's the kind of look that suggests Tyson might not always bow to his mentor's orders. This sets the stage for a dangerous clash. A loyal soldier can be trusted, but a protege who starts to think for himself, that's a threat. Symbolically, Dwight's presence in the trailer often frames Tyson's actions. We see Tyson in shadow, in silence, in conflict, and then we hear Dwight's voice over those images. It's almost as if Dwight has become the voice inside Tyson's head, shaping every choice he makes. But here's the twist. The more Dwight tries to guide him, the more it feels like Tyson is being pushed into defining himself against Dwight, not under him. This tension could be the seed of betrayal that fans have been waiting for. There's also the practical side of Dwight's role. He's building an empire in Tulsa, and every empire needs enforcers. Tyson isn't just Dwight's student, he's his investment. The more dangerous Tyson becomes, the more valuable he is to Dwight's rise. But that value comes with risk. Once Tyson proves he can kill, once he shows he can carry out violence with his own hands, he no longer needs Dwight to validate him. He can stand on his own, and that independence is what could ultimately fracture their bond. The trailer doesn't spell it out, but the subtext is clear. Dwight may be the one pushing Tyson toward his next kill, but in doing so, he might be creating his own rival. The student who learns to well, the soldier who realizes he can lead, the son who outgrows the father. Dwight's role is both empowering and destructive, and episode 3 feels like the breaking point where we'll see if Tyson remains loyal or if Dwight has accidentally unleashed a monster he can't control. In the end, Dwight isn't just a mentor in Tyson's story. He's the weight, dragging him into darkness, the spark fueling his transformation, and the wall Tyson may one day have to break through. And the trailer's biggest clue might be that Dwight himself knows this. His warning isn't just for Tyson, it's for us, the audience, preparing us for the moment when loyalty turns into defiance, and mentorship turns into war.